So we start the today's lecture. First, we start the forEach function. How we can work forEach function on in an array. So for that, I created a day3 folder. Now we create one file that is a demo1.ts. And first create a simple array. Let a colon a number array. Sorry, we have to make it square bracket. Okay. Some mention 10 value. I have to mention 20, 30, 40. So I created that number array. You can apply a forEach method on the array. Okay, so just use array name. After that, you use a dot operator and use a forEach. The syntax of a forEach method is a very similar to the fat arrow function. Okay, first check out the syntax and check out the documentation as well. First, read the documentation. The forEach method takes a first argument is a fat arrow function. The last lecture we learned the fat arrow function. That is the first argument of that forEach function is fat arrow function. It is called a callback function. Fat arrow function takes three arguments: value, index, and array. If that value, index, and array, that value will be input a parameter. That parameter will be filled by the forEach method. So you don't need to pass any value for that fat arrow function explicitly. forEach method is will handle that things, and you will get the current value, index, and all array inside that fat arrow function. Whereas the second argument is this argument. It is an optional parameter in the Typescript. If you not mention any these arguments, it is a null. Okay. By default, its value is null. If you are mentioning, use the second argument of that forEach function. It is a current reference of an array. It holds current reference of a array. It's optional, but there is not a use for that. So for each function, we can implement the fat arrow function. So let's start with the fat arrow function. We learned the fat arrow. Fat arrow does not have any name. Again, you require to pass a value, whereas value, index, and array is not a compulsion parameter. In that case, means if you want to use a value or an index, you can use it. If you want to use only value, you can use only value. Okay, so you can mention the value. If you want to use an index, you can mention as well. Okay, implement the fat arrow function greater than equal to greater than, then curly bracket, and inside that forEach function you can use your display logic or other whatever your logic you have to implement. You can use it. forEach function is iterate element by element. Okay, so every element's value is come into the value variable. Okay, and in I it contains your current index of that value. So it is iterate automatically according to the array size. So if you want to just, we can display here console.log. If you want to perform any logic, you can perform it for each logic as well. Simply I display the value of array. That value of array is into the value variable. And again, if you want to print the index is, and that index value is in I variable. Okay, so it is iterated according to the array size. No need to track how many times to iterate it. forEach is handle all these things. Okay, just cross check it. We can compile that tsc demo1.ts and node demo1.js. Compile and run. So you will get the value of array 10, index is 0. What is the current index? It will be displayed. The value of array is 20. It will give the current index. So according to that, your forEach loop is work. For each loop is mostly used for the operation purpose. If you want to perform element by element operation, you can use a for each function. Okay, but mostly we use a map function instead of for each function. Okay, if you want to perform any operation and return some value, for that we use a map function. We will see further how we can use a map function. Okay, clear this thing for each